Hi, this is Farah Khan.
I'm Abhishek Bachchan.
Hi, Vivaan Shah.
And you're watching
Bollywood Hungama.
फराज अनअशेम्ड लव ऑफ कमर्शियल सिनेमा बहुत अच्छा लगता है, बहुत मज़े लेकर फिल्म बनाती हैं. दैट्स व्हाट नसीरुद्दीन शाह साहब said day before yesterday in an interview with me. And we have this the team of the half team of Happy New Year, Farah Khan, of course, Abhishek Bachchan and Vivaan Shah. Pleasure having you guys on Bollywood Hungama first of all. And how do you react to Mr. Shah's?
I love.
I bring interesting stuff for you.
Let's see, Faridoon देखा?
Complaining actually.
नहीं. Nasir is one of my favorites. So मैं हूँ ना, my first movie he acted in. And I was very pleasantly surprised to know कि वो मेरे डैड के फिल्म्स के बहुत बड़े फैन थे. My father used to make all these B-grade action movies in the 50s and all. नसीर का जब आप सोचते हो तो आपको लगता है कि डार्क, इंटेंस, बहुत मतलब बोरिंग सिनेमा को पसंद करेंगे वो. But he loves her and Vivaan told me he loved Om Shanti Om, he loved मैं हूँ ना.
That's what he said.
And now fingers crossed. I'm hoping he loves Happy New Year, if not for anything, for Vivaan.
Right. I'll quickly add a couple of more things. What he said is, मेरी इससे बड़ी दुआ क्या हो सकती है for Vivaan that मेरी favorite commercial director के साथ में मेरा बेटा launch हो रहा है. And he said that कोई advice नहीं दिया है, सिर्फ एक advice दिया है कि शाहरुख खान से advice लो, उससे बेहतर कोई नहीं है तुमको advice देने वाला for acting in commercial films. Acting in commercial films मेरे आज तक समझ में नहीं आई कि कैसे होती है. I've left him in the hands of Shah Rukh and Farah और मुझे पूरा भरोसा है उन दोनों पर.
Thank you Nasir and I hope that we have done justice. और विवान का अगर हमने फिल्म में ख्याल रखा है, ऑफ कैमरा अभिषेक उनके गार्डियन थे. जो उनके वार्डन, गार्डियन, टीचर, बड़े भाई, सब उनका ख्याल वो रख रहे थे. एयरपोर्ट पे, होटल रूम में, पार्टी पे. अब भी we have made sure he is sitting with us, so we don't know where he is disappearing. But I think Vivaan has done wonderfully well. कंसिडरिंग के एक नए एक्टर के लिए जिसकी ये सेकंड फिल्म है, भले वो किसी का भी बेटा हो, टू कम ऑन टू अ सेट विच हैज शाहरुख खान, अभिषेक बच्चन, बोमन ईरानी जैसे मतलब मंजे हुए नॉट ओनली स्टार्स बट एक्टर्स, यू कैन गेट बहुत ऑ हो सकता है. विवान आई थिंक वॉज क्वाइट काम एंड कूल और जो रोल इन्होंने किया है आई डोंट सी एनी बेटर person doing the role that he has played in Happy New Year.
What sort of advice did Shah Rukh Khan give you on commercial films as your father must have had? There's a colleague of mine, his name is Fennel, I believe you were his classmate.
I know him. Yes.
And he told me that you used to be like very high on art films during your final year. And
I don't think there's any such distinction between art house and commercial. My dad in fact always says this. He says there's good films and there's bad films. There's no categorization and distinction and I find the problem.
जैसे हमारे फिल्म में बोला है कि दो तरह के लोग होते हैं, विनर्स एंड लूजर्स. वैसे दो तरह की फिल्में होती हैं फरीदून, अच्छी और बुरी. मोस्ट ऑफ द मूवीज वी वॉच्ड इन आवर चाइल्डहुड दैट वी रिमेंबर, वेदर इट्स मनमोहन देसाई मूवीज और विजय आनंद मूवीज और नासिर हुसैन मूवीज, आई थॉट दे वर द मोस्ट फैंटास्टिक मूवीज एवर मेड. अभी दे वर सर्टनली नॉट art films, but they made me happy and they made that experience of going into a theatre and coming out home happy.
Surprisingly, you've also mentioned that you loved Clerk, Mr. Manoj Kumar's Clerk.
Well,
who doesn't?
Films are classics, yeah.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? Correct. Well said, Vivaan.
Clerk is like
Clerk is a
classic.
Is a classic.
Okay, Abhishek Bachchan, I think you had a great time in the slam concerts recently, and the way you just interact with the crowd and just make them sway, and the entire selfie
Wasn't he
mode.
Fantastic?
He was fantastic actually. You know,
I was so proud of him.
He was fantastic, and I think not everybody can be a live performer. I don't think.
He was just मतलब मैं ग्रुपी हो गई थी. मैं हर अभिषेक के 6 shows में I was the first one to run and stand and watch him perform because वो पूरी audience को वो ना उठा देता था.
You enjoy the live interaction with your fans, the screaming and all that.
It kind of goes back to the start of your training as an actor. We've all started on stage, and the one thing that we have on stage which we don't get on film is that instantaneous reaction. Filmmaking can become a very lonely process in that way, which has its pros and its cons. The reaction won't affect your performance on film. The reaction affects your performance on stage. That can be good and that can be bad. It just makes you realize what all we've missed. I love performing for a live stage because all they have to give at that point of time, especially in our film stage shows, is they just want to give love.
Faridoon was there in Washington.
Yes, I know, he told me. I saw his tweets as well, and it's fantastic to go out there. They are so excited to see you. They want to love you. They want to participate with you, and it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it.
The sort of love that you guys have been getting, and I personally interacted with a lot of foreigners who are not diaspora. In fact, Mr. Khan said that diaspora and subcontinent, but I said that there are a lot of foreigners who are just the way they flock to. I know a 70-year-old woman in a US lady who just traveled all the way from New York to Washington
I had
to watch
fans
it, and there's
from
so
Tokyo,
many of them. Yeah,
from
must have been.
Osaka and Tokyo who flew down to New Jersey to watch because
Must
they
have
are
been.
Om Shanti Om fans.
Right. Must be. In fact, there are a lot of them. So, is it heartening for you in terms of your overseas
I think
crowd?
it's beautiful. I think it's lovely
From
when
movie perspective.
when no, I just think as a filmmaker, it is lovely when it is not restricted only to the people who speak your language and where the film kind of entertains a person in Japan also, or a person in US who probably doesn't know what Bollywood is but loves Shah Rukh Khan or loves that Indianness of the movies that we make. You know, so I think it's beautiful. You know, जहाँ पर हम देखते हैं, हम भी foreign films देखते हैं, and we also get impressed by them. I think why not have a in-your-face Bollywood movie that people love.
What sort of release strategy are you guys having in terms of
We are
both in India as well as
releasing the movie on
both in
23rd in America and 24th, 23rd abroad and 24th in India.
And 23rd, there are paid previews in India?
No.
By any chance?
No.
There
No.
Directly it's releasing on 24th.
Yeah.
And 23rd, all over the across
America,
the world,
Dubai, yeah.
everywhere
UK,
it's releasing.
yes.
All right. Approximately how many screens?
That I don't know anything about this, Faridoon.
Right.
You're asking a wrong person. I'm the creative, on the creative side. I'll check the promos and the creatives that go out.
Right.
The strategy I think will be planned by Red Chillies and Yashraj Films.
And the print and the final print is ready.
No, far from it. Huh.
So how much time do you think it will take?
It'll be ready in time.
Okay. All right.
Just about. As the first show is happening, Harry will take the last few VFX shots and bring them to the theatre.
Right. All right.
As usual, however much time you have to prep, the last 1 month will always be, it's like exams.
हाँ.
अब पूरा साल पढ़ लो, जब एग्जाम आता है तो एक हफ्ता पहले आपको लगता है आपको कुछ नहीं है मालूम है.
So how are you managing it? You're doing the shows.
I'm the shows. I had finished the final edit and the background score, and after every show and before every show, I was on FaceTime and this.
Acha, you're doing it.
Yeah,
you're doing it through
there.
there. Acha.
We used to finish the show and we used to all go to eat dinner. She used to go to the business center and be on conference call with India, checking the promos, the sound, the VFX.
Everything was being approved, and
Yeah.
so.
All right. So how was it, your experience? You've done like a Saat Khoon Maaf, and now you're doing like a full-fledged film. Apparently, you were not very fond of dancing before you did the movie.
Didn't
He's
know
a
how to
superb
dance.
dancer.
He
you
was?
know?
I was very fond of dancing and always have been, but I've never.
But you
really
said that
good
you were
at
not
it.
a good dancer to her.
No, I told her, I lied to her that told her that I am a good dancer because I thought it
And she
helped
wanted
me
bad
getting
dancer.
Yeah, she wanted a bad dancer.
And I got a bad dancer.
She
finally.
got a bad.
Right. Okay. You know, when we see the promo, I personally felt that even without saying anything, you have a lot of I think expressions in your face, which is beautiful actually.
Thank you. I'm
Which
really
is
glad.
without saying anything, you're
Which
saying a
is
lot.
actually very strange because when we used to shoot, I used to be shouting at him the most,
Right.
thinking कि ये क्या कर रहा है ये. But people who have seen scenes and all, they always come, that boy is so cute, and there's such a likable factor about Vivaan. You know, he just looks like that boy next door.
Right.
And not too many heroes or too many. Right now, everyone is like ripped and six packs, and even if you're a newcomer, you know, you're like all buff and stud like. He just has a very vulnerable and a very sweet quality about him.
Right. And Mr. Abhishek, you're very fond of Farah. I was speaking to Mr. Shah Rukh Khan as well. And he said that the sort of chemistry that Farah and Baman share, they should be doing like Dil Wale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, something.
मेरी
to that.
किस्मत में बाबा ने लिखा है.
But I think they share an amazing chemistry on stage as well. I think. What are your thoughts on that?
I think they were brilliant on the show.
Absolutely.
And I can't
Absolutely.
think of two other people who could have pulled off what all they did.
Right.
With the kind of
And he literally
refinement
lifted
that
him
they
as well.
did. Yeah.
Lifted her.
Yeah. And I really think they were brilliant on stage. And what was amazing to see is, first of all, the coolest thing about the stage shows was I don't think anybody sat in their makeup rooms.
Yeah.
From the first show in Houston, the minute this boy was on stage,
We were all
Shah Rukh,
Everybody was-
Deepika, Baman, Farah, Sonu, myself, we were all in the wings just cheering him
Cheering.
on because we were like, you know, बच्चे का first show है, you know. But then what happened is every show, everybody would be in the wings. We'd literally change in the quick change room in the wings,
and come and stand and watch.
We'd watch the show.
Yeah.
And what was amazing about these two is with every show they did something different. They improvised. They kept improving. I think the chemistry on stage was fantastic.
Absolutely.
On stage.
On stage.
I love Baman. I love Baman.
Right.
He's, I mean, Abhishek, Baman and me were joined at the hip, I think, through the tour. We all spend a lot of time with each other, but the three of us we travel in the same car, or we meet up for breakfast, you know. Shah Rukh's not the breakfast type, you know. So we would be having breakfast together. If we could find Vivaan, he would join us.
Right.
Sonu would be in the gym or shopping most of the time.
Right.
But three of us, and I mean, we really had some really heart-to-heart conversations, and
Right.
some. It's not all ha-ha, hoo-hoo. There were some really.
What sort of acting tips have you taken from Mr. Shah? Have you spoken to him? Do you speak to him? And in fact, I told him that in an interview you had said that in a way you were slightly intimidated with him, and I told him about that, and he said that it's
Mr.
sad
Shah
that
is Mr. Shah Rukh Khan or Mr.
Nasiruddin Shah. Mr. Nasiruddin Shah.
Oh, okay.
See?
Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm
I thought
sorry.
you were talking.
So he said that.
Oh shit! And I was about to speak also.
Should I rephrase? should I rephrase it once
It
again?
would have been nice because he would have thought of talking about Nasi and you would be talking about Shah Rukh.
And I was just close to talking.
Basically, I think in an interview you have said that you're slightly intimidated with your dad in a way, and he
And
said
who
that
would
it's
I was
sad.
intimidated when I saw him for the first
It's
time.
sad that my children are slightly distant from me. I would want them.
But
I'm still working on the fact
You
that
know,
I can
that's
be more
the thing.
friendly with them.
It's a dilemma that a lot of people like that, like I'm sure Abhishek's dad, Shah sir, my dad, they face it that because they don't want people to be intimidated by them, and
that's what he
they
said.
really
That's
they get
exactly what he
upset
said.
that
I don't want
everybody is
my
so
children to
scared
be
of them, and
intimidated.
everybody, and I think it really bothers them. And even Shah sir, like he can size you up in a second. You know, he knows that if you're getting intimidated by him or not, and he'll try to make you feel comfortable, which is what he did out here. Is that anybody would naturally feel intimidated working with Shah Rukh Khan, but he can sense that.
Shah Rukh
and
spent a lot of time with Vivaan and, you know, just
Yeah.
helping him read the line. I mean, he was really a great help to me as a person. Because there's 6 actors, I have to manage and run and set up camera, and also he would be taking his lines.
So
and
I think
Any tips that you've got from Mr. Nasiruddin Shah? What sort of tips, acting tips?
all kinds of everything. Everything I've learnt about acting is from him. Everything like the kind of films he showed me growing up, the kind of things I've read, everything that I've learnt about acting is pretty much through him. And whatever path of discovery that I've had on my own is through the routes that he set in.
Okay, now in the last interview that we did, one thing that I noticed was that after the interview, Mr. Khan helped you out with your cordless mic. You know, it's a very unique thing for any actor and director as a friend that you guys have had. How special has it been for you working with Shah Rukh, especially after this sort of slight friction that you guys had?
In a way, it's definitely become much better, even better than we were earlier. In terms of there is no taking each other for granted now. There is we just become thicker friends. We discuss a lot more. The lot more things we talk to each other about. We also now between the two of us have 6 children. So a lot of the time we talk about the kids. There's lots more in common, and I think once you lose something and you get it back, I think you cherish it a lot more. So there is that we don't want that ever to happen again. So there's a lot more care, and I think it's pretty evident the kind of love and the rapport. And I think Shah Rukh gone all out in this film.
Right.
As a producer, as an actor, of course, but as a producer, it's like it's like on another league. This movie would not have been made if he was not starring in it, and I don't think any of us would be having this kind of, because when the lead of your movie, I mean, he's the senior most in terms of stardom and experience, decides that everybody is going to be together and we are all in it together, I think that kind of just makes it so much easy. And you are that one actor who has a ego problem and says meri line isko kyun chali gayi ya mera scene kyun, then that whole experience is gone for a toss.
One more thing that we saw at Washington was that people were just asking for English as well, your dialogue. Does it make you feel is it heartening for you that the crowd is responding to the dialogue of your movie somehow? They're looking for the character, relating to the character, I believe, in a way.
Yes. Anytime, you know, they ask you anything relating to the film which is got to do with your character, it means somewhere you've managed to touch them. you've managed to impress upon them. And that's what every actor wants, you know. You want, when it comes to Shah Rukh, they always want him to do that pose. That means, you know, that's something of his that is special to them.
Right.
And the fact that people are liking English is very heartening for me. I mean, somewhere the character, what we had, envisaged for the character is somewhere working.
And what about Radhe Radhe? Sukhwinder Singh, I think what he does is really special. The way I think, even in terms of, I think he's...
You know, he's like a loose cannon.
He is like a loose cannon.
You know, you just have to put him in that studio. And I remember one of my first ever recording experiences for my first film, Refugee, was with him. And I remember Anu, who is just a genius. We were recording the climax song of Refugee, Jisse Tu Na Mila, Usse Kuch Na Mila. And it's like a Sufi song. And he actually got two singers which I have huge amount of respect for, Shankar Mahadevan, who's possibly one of the few singers we have who has the most unbelievable range.
Right, absolutely.
You know, in scale. And he took Sukhwinder and he put them both in the same studio and he said, sing the entire song together. So in a sense, they were feeding off each other's energy, and just to see Sukhwinder just go, he's just raw power, man. He just goes for it. And you know, it makes your job as an actor so much easier. You know, when the passion is already put in there by the singer, he's unbelievable. He's a force of nature, Sukhwinder.
Great. Now, one question that I have for you, Farah, is I think that the way you have picturized your songs, I think, is outstanding.
Thank you.
We'll start with Lovely, for example. I think, you know, it's a beautiful song, but the way the sensuousness, जो उसमें एक grace आपने डाला है, you know, it's really unique. I think you can easily transgress and go the other way, but it doesn't do that.
Thank you, Faridoon. It's been, I've directed the song. It's been choreographed by Geeta Kapoor, my protege. She's been my assistant for very long.
Right.
But I think when a woman shoots a woman, there is no, I don't think there's any cheapness, or it, like you're saying, is a thin line between being sensuous and being tacky. I think through my movies, I've managed to shoot the heroines pretty well, though Karan always tells me that I love my heroes and hate the heroines. That is not true. I think I shoot the heroines whether it was so sure, even Sheila Ki Jawani.
Katrina.
Deepika and Om Shanti Om. So I like doing that, all things. And she is a very beautiful girl, and she deserves to be presented in a manner which is, you know, like almost goddess-like. So I'm happy you all like Lovely, because
it's outstanding. I think Kanika has sung it beautifully.
Yes, she sung it very well.
It's a very sprightly composition. Yes. And Manwa Lage, I think the fire that you get out of Shah Rukh Khan, I think people are loving it. And
I think
on screen,
I'm so happy they are getting that, even that fire extinguisher when you all get in the end and all. I'm so happy people are getting that small details also, because sometimes I just put on those small things for my own trip, you know.
Right.
कि शाहरुख से ये जो किसी को समझ भी नहीं आएगा, like ठीक है हम लोग तो हंसेंगे ना theater में. But I think the best shot is when his shirt just burns off with her, with one look of hers.
Right. But I think it's beautiful imagination that I think, you know, a girl seeing and
spontaneous combustion.
Spontaneous combustion. Yeah. Okay, finally, all of you, we can just talk about India Wale. I think the way it's been picturized, and I think Shankar
actually, Faridoon, when you see it in the movie, we are trying not to put everything in the promos and the trailer.
Right.
So, but in the movie, especially when it comes in the climax, it's like goosebumpy. Like that's my favorite part of the movie. Like.
Right. What about you, Abhishek? It has that I think a connotation in terms of patriotism as well.
Absolutely.
Which I'm sure that
that's the reason why it's there in the film.
Right.
It's a point of time in the film where they're feeling good about themselves. They're representing their country in the world dance competition. And it's about India Wale and their growing popularity. I think it's a fantastic track. I definitely think it's going to become a very popular track. And you know, let's see. Let's hope it becomes some sort of an anthem. It has all the makings for it.
Absolutely. And in terms of the scale, you know, the way the entire presentation is, you like the fact that the huge scale, the way this song is having,
you know,
and you're dancing to it.
The scale, I think this song is really a sort of throwback to the euphoria of some of the songs of the 90s, and just gently that kind of, it's a celebration of India, of patriotism, of teamwork, and it's really, I think it's the climactic song, of course, but there is a sort of euphoria and you can't describe it. You get goosebumps whenever you hear it, and I think it's a historic song. I really think it's a landmark, the song.
Great. Thank you very much, guys, for being on Bollywood Hungama, and looking forward to a happy new year.
Thank you, Faridoon. Looking forward to many more interviews with you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much and all the best wishes.
Thank you, darling.
That's all from BollywoodHungama. Keep on watching.
Hi, this is Faridoon Shahryar. For the most interesting celebrity interviews, do subscribe to Bollywood Hungama. Keep on watching.